Hi, everybody. Welcome to the W3, another great session with a great industry leader, Johnny, Chief Operating Officer, Liberty Utilities, on the topic, which I love, and I think Johnny for sure, he go through every day, every second about the workforce, evolving utility workforce landscape. Johnny, welcome to the W3 session.
Thanks, Deepak. Good to be here.
And love to, I think for audience, I think I know you for a long time, but I think for audience to know that how much all great stuff you do, on your day-to-day life and your just a little bit of your background will be really great. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm, I guess, engineer by background and upbringing. I was born in Scotland, grew up in England, and have probably spent half of my career working in the US and now Canada. For the last 5 years, I've been Chief Operating Officer here at Liberty. We are a multi-utility. We have gas, electric, water, wastewater utilities across the US, Canada, in Chile and Bermuda. We have probably 1.2 million customer connections, 3,500 employees. And, it's a super exciting business at a super exciting time in our industry as we're all sort of working our way through what do we need to do to support this transition to a net zero future.
Yeah, Johnny, I think I just want to take that from the exciting time for all of us, because I think this is the only time when everybody, irrespective of you pick up the social media, you pick up the governments, you pick up the private sector, everybody's talking about the energy transformation, net zero, climate, what we're going to do, how fast the energy, water and gas become, and the climate become the core nucleus of everybody's conversation. And we know that, we all getting this new generation of workforce joining our industry. And I know that you definitely as a Liberty have so many team members and keep getting these people in, advancing in the technology and the changing the capability, of the workforce for yesterday and today. We'll be definitely covering that, how that changing the landscape within the utility, and definitely focus on the Liberty Utilities, how you are preparing for that. So in those topics, I want to pick it up. One topic which is really in the context of the evolving landscape of the workforce. How is the makeup of the workforce changing, and the and what downstream effect of that in the Liberty, or according to you in the industry, you see?
So I think one of the proud of seeing changing is in some ways the diversity of the makeup of the workforce. And so particularly as you sort of go back in time, I think the utility industry was pretty male dominated and it was pretty white dominated. And I look at our workforce today and, it doesn't look like that. We have over 30% of our employees are female across the whole organization. Half of our non-executive board members are female. And so we're starting to make nowhere near the communities we serve in terms of that 50-50 mix. Yeah, we've got more to do, but it's a way more balanced workforce. And similarly, from an ethnicity perspective, we are not just a white workforce anymore. I think we've got, in our West region, 40% of our workforce has got some sort of minority background. And I'm really proud of that, to sort of see how the workforce is sort of changing from that perspective. But I think we're also sort of seeing a change maybe in the work that we're doing that requires a different sort of set of skills. And so the physical work is still there. We've still got to climb poles. We've still got to dig holes. But the devices that we're installing are, used to be passive devices, are now very interconnected and digital devices. The way that we get work to our teams used to be on paper. It's now on an iPad. And everything that we're doing is interconnected and data-driven. And so there's a real need as we bring new people into the teams, is not that they're just good with their hands in terms of doing the work in the field, but they're good technologically as well, and are well equipped also to just protect our business. Cyber is probably one of our biggest risks, and being sort of cyber aware and making sure that you're using the tools in the right way is really important to us.
I think, Johnny, I think this is pretty much what we see. And, as myself, talking to definitely executives like you across the globe, that's the most important thing, is that technology is getting more and more penetrated to our day-to-day life. And it's not only utilities, but definitely in our day-to-day life on a personal life too. And that's really impacting for good reasons for us to be taking the data-driven, and technology-driven. And I know that whenever we talk about that, your point of view has always been how we can leverage in a good, honest way the technology into the day-to-day workforce, activities, how we automate that. And I know that you have a multiple initiatives and you're driving that for a long time, bringing operational efficiency, and bringing the customer assets, workforce, downstream integration to the different systems you upgraded, and I really love that, because I think it's a pretty much, I say that is a trend across the globe. We see that, what digital is the way to go, and take the decision. Technology and the knowledge of industry vertical is going right there, very integrated to everybody's life, and it's important. So, Johnny, when we take that, definitely one technology topic is, and I think everybody's life, everybody's talking. I know the ChatGPT created that way for all of us. You definitely see a lot of impact when we talk in the context of technology. But AI, and ML, when you see that AI impact in the utilities workforce or business processes, across the board, any particular area or any particular, I should say the business unit where you see it's disrupting or can disrupt in all the positive way, just a little bit, pretty much focus on that will be really good. But I think everybody would like to hear from you, what is your point of view on that part?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure I've got the best answer on that today, Deepak. I mean, I think the question might be better, is there any part of the business that can't be disrupted by this technology? I think it's super early days, and I think for us and the journey that we have been on, we're just in the process of we've grown through lots of acquisitions. We've had all these different systems, and so our focus has been how do we start to get standardized across our enterprise and move off of our legacy systems onto a consistent enterprise platform for customer and asset and for our finances. We are in a place where we're hoping to have that completed really in the next 6 months. And so it's really exciting because it's been a long time in coming to have that completed and to then really start to move on this next stage of our data journey. And so we have started to dip our toe into the water in terms of how can we now start to take data from different sources, bring it together and give us better insights around, our customers' propensity to pay and what's the right path to be supporting them in terms of being able to pay their bills and for us to collect our revenues, and recognizing that not everyone's the same. And by being able to pull information from different places can really help us. But as we start to think about generative AI and where that's going, I feel that's going to take our business to a whole new level. It's an area where I think we've still got a lot to learn and a lot to practice in. But I think getting to that first stage of at least having modern systems that can easily interconnect, be cloud-based, get the data to move in the way that we need to is going to be a good starting point for us. But we've got a lot to learn. But I think everything that I've seen so far is pretty exciting, and I think it's going to be pretty far-reaching across not just our business, but everyone's business. And I think there's a lot of folks that are trying to figure this out right now in terms of what's the best way to use these tools to deliver better outcomes for our customers.
No, I think I love that when you made that, what are the not areas going to be impacted by, and that's a very, very great question, because true, when we talk about technology penetration in the industry, and at least in our industry, and I have to really give that, and I think everybody say I'm too much biased for the energy and utilities because I am in that industry. I said yes, because I think this is one of the industry which have to provide 24/7 non-disruption, to their customers. And I think it's a very complex, it's not very easy. It's truly, I have to give this, and I'm on behalf of the industry, other side of the industry, which is a tech industry, which where my focus for this is, I really want to thank you, Johnny, for you and every energy and U3 executives, how much hard work, you all do, to make sure all of us get the water, power, and gas, which is the most important commodity, without that, all of us cannot live and cannot innovate, and we know that the life without water and power is not good, for any of us,
Well, I appreciate that, because if you go and listen to the calls that come into our call center, Deepak, every day, very few of our customers are ringing up to thank us for the power quality that we provide them, or the fact that the tap, when they turn it on, the water flowed. But it's what we do is essential to the communities we serve, and we have to, everything we do, we've got to have that lens of, we cannot mess up delivery for our customers. And I think at times that can mean we're probably a little bit more risk averse as an industry, because making sure that what we do continues to flow is so critical. And that's one of the challenges in this sort of more agile and fast moving technology world that we now find ourselves in, is how to interact with that and get the benefits from that, whilst at the same time, we cannot impact the reliability of service we provide our customers. It's such a key part of who we are and what we do. And we've seen, around the world over time, that if energy stops or water stops, it doesn't take too long until civil disruption follows, because what we provide is so essential for life.
It is. And that's why I feel that, and Johnny, I'm going to underscore that the AI will definitely help, a lot, because we all, good reason, we have so many use cases when we pick up, from customer to asset to the workforce to operational activities. And again, it's a pretty much a prioritized driven, focus, what we all as an industry have to do. But I just feel that to your point, as a team, internally, all of us, we have around very, very big focus AI team, which is definitely was the part of the analytics to the BI to AI, but we are actually prioritizing the same way, to your point. And we actually asking the utilities what matter to them, and what we understand what matter to them also should be prioritized and available, because it's a very, any area which I feel and which is in our industry required intelligence, and in a prior experience, can we use the AI to become a supplement as an option to mix the human intelligence and the AI together? Because as you said, the reliability and the safety is the most important thing, and we cannot, and those things impact the customer right away, which is all of us. So I see that there's a great disruption in all the positive way in all the areas in the utilities current business cases, and doesn't matter those fall into the customer operations, the workforce. I think we're going to see a beautiful work coming out, and helping the industry. And I think then industry and leaders like you go to lead, to that point, what is more important to do it, and that will prioritize, because people can go very horizontal, people can go very vertical in AI. And I think it's a more vertical AI rather than horizontal AI. And we always talk about that, but I'm looking forward for that time, it's going to be fun. Next 5 years is going to be last 25 years of internet, we're going to see in energy and utilities, But just otherwise we'll be going on AI all over the place, I want to change the topic a little bit, on this. What do you think is some of your learning in recent time, when you really look what you are doing today to equip for tomorrow? Because definitely a lot of things you are definitely working in the past and today to make sure all these changes, in the definitely businesses coming, outside coming, you getting equipped for the workforce for tomorrow as a modern utility workforce.
Yeah, what have been my learnings? And I think there's a lot that's changing But in some ways, maybe there's some things that aren't changing too. And so for me, making sure that we always start and finish with making sure that we keep our people and our customers safe. And so as much as all these things are changing around us, how do we make sure we keep our people safe, that we continue to deliver that reliable service? We talked a little bit earlier, maybe around the evolving demographics of the workforce, and I think I think been really excited to see us starting to have a workforce that much closer represents the communities we serve. I think those diverse representation gets us closer to our customers. It helps us to make better decisions and opens us to the best talent that's out there. And I think as we sort of think about where we're going, talent is probably key for everyone. How do we get and keep the best people? And I think maybe coming out of the pandemic, we've all learned a lot. But I think we've learned a lot around trying to get that right balance of how do you be a flexible employer? And so we saw some organizations through the pandemic sort of going, we don't need anyone ever to be here ever again. Everyone can work from home for forever. And as time's gone on, they've realized, well, maybe that wasn't the best strategy. We've seen companies that have gone, well, no, we like to have people in. We're going to have everyone in all the time because that's really important to our delivery and our culture. And they've struggled to retain folks. And so I think finding that right happy medium of being able to be a flexible employer that really helps to get the best out of your employees, giving them control of how they use their time, but also making sure that you have got people coming together, because there's something that's really hard to sort of put your arms around, but there's real value in people spending time with other people, and not just over a screen like this, but face to face. And so really making sure that you're trying to balance both of those things. I think that has changed and probably made it harder for us as employers to try and get that balance right of where is the right place to sort of get your guidelines and approach and policy to make that work. And I think maybe it should have always been there, but we need to be as more customer focused than ever. I've started using with my team internally here the phrase customer obsessed, and it almost makes people, at least in a utilities organization, feel slightly uncomfortable. Like we're used to making these long-term 40+ year investments for our customers because we're smart engineers that know what is best, and our customers have been lucky to have us. And for the longest time, we didn't call them customers, we called them ratepayers, because they were getting a service for us, they're paying the rates, and gosh, we can't think like that anymore. Everything is becoming democratized, and we're in a way more competitive landscape than we've ever been before. And for us to continue to be successful as an organization, we really have to be obsessed about what do our customers really want and need. And I think as we've started to go on this journey of having customer panels and forums where we're really getting deeper into how much customers are willing to pay for the service they get, and if they got better reliability, would they be happy to pay a bit more, and how do they want to be communicated with, and how do they think about the energy transition and the role that the utility company should play versus their individual. Like, we had all sorts of assumptions, but until we started to have those conversations, it was I think it's really helped to inform our strategy going forwards in terms of how do we move forwards with our customers. And so I think that's been continues to be an area of transition and learning for us of the necessity, whilst we're regulated monopolies, we've got to be uber focused on what our customers are looking for and serving that. That's going to leave us well placed for making the right investments and then ultimately getting successful regulatory outcomes, which helps us to be a successful and growing business going forwards.
Johnny, I cannot overemphasize that, because I know that we had this multiple conversation for a good long time, and I know that your focus being bringing the workforce and customer as a connected platform, from not only as an organization, but at the same time making that digital possible, for all the good reasons, And I think that's you truly said is that the customers are in the nucleus of the utilities core focus. And we see that, being SEW, we are in 42 countries and we touch all the big or mid-sized utilities across the globe. This is pretty much a trend across the board. The utilities become very focused on definitely the customer reliability and the assets, making sure and those are being maintained by the workforce. And I think that's really customer focus. Utilities are already showing a great, customer sats. The customers are really understanding what exactly utilities are trying to do. To your point, it used to be X years of programs, and customer doesn't see that what exactly the benefit is. I think we all talk about that. 20 years back, AMI people, only industry people know the value of AMI. Now everybody see the value of AMI. How we can do the real time load management and all the good stuff we do, and how customer become the part of that. And I love that the word Uber. So I think the Uber definitely the way they change the being transparent to be in front of the customer to show them all the frictionless journeys. And I have to congrats you and your management team and executive team to going and deploying, across the board, in your utilities, and it's going on the way. But definitely a lot of your customer already got the great customer experience and mobile workforce platform coming in their hand, which is definitely, is your commitment as a utilities, Liberty Utilities, to give the information in the hand of the customer, in every channel. And I think I'm really looking forward, how this fast changing, technology driven customer focus and really a new workforce will impact only positive way to the regulators, to the customer, to the utilities day-to-day operation. In that context, if I'll just pick up a small topic, what according to you influencing factor is really impacting the workforce management in whatever the life cycle, customer life cycle or operational life cycle you see? You want to put some pointer on that?
I think it all just comes back to, I think it comes back to the customer, Deepak. I think everything that we should be doing within our utility, whether it could be just ongoing maintenance work. Well, why are we doing that? We're doing it to make sure that we maintain a reliable operating system that keeps the gas flowing, or the water flowing, or the electrons flowing. And so really thinking through, like, how do we do that work in a way that minimizes disruption to our customers? And so we've been working hard in our water business to, when we have to go and do maintenance work or to change, replace equipment, how can we do that in a way that minimizes water outages to our customers, in a way that we can keep the water flowing while we do that work? And it's no different on any other of our electrical gas systems. And so I think almost in everything we do, really trying to put the customer lens on why we're doing it, how can we have the minimum impact on our customers. And then the bit that I think is maybe this starts with your thank you at the beginning. We do so much behind the scenes that customers don't appreciate. We've somehow got to do an even better job of helping our customers understand all that we're doing and all the work that we're doing to mean that they do have the flexibility to flick a switch whenever they want, and the power will be there. Because I think when it comes to rate cases and customer bills and what they're paying for their utility rates, a lot of our customers don't understand what is in that bill. They think they're just lining shareholder and executive pockets, whereas the reality is most of that rate is paying for the investments that have been made to give them safe and reliable service. And so I think all the way through from not only doing a great job of doing it thoughtfully, but how do we tell the story of that to help our customers better understand all the great work that goes on behind the scenes for the valuable service they get? Because I think at times we almost want to fly below the radar, and we're not great at waving the flag at all the great work that we do. And that's an area that we're working hard to try and get the balance right of just being a bit more transparent in helping our customers understand all of the folks that are working in that community each and every day, 24/7, to make sure that they've got the services that they benefit from at home.
Johnny, I think I want to underscore what you already said. I think it's really important for all of us. One topic I want to ask you, and I think it's a very, I think it's a most important topic every utility is thinking and having a strategy around the e-mobility or the EV penetration across what's happening. Doesn't matter which area or which part of the country you put it up. I think utilities are really kind of getting prepped for it. Anything you want to highlight, what you, because again, that impact the customer and reliability right away, what are anything you want to highlight, or which I think a lot of utility executive across the board want to hear that across, from each other. And I'm just putting the topic in front of you. If anything, just you want to highlight, that will be really great.
For me, EVs are super exciting. It is for many years in the electric utility space, we have seen in some ways usage per household sort of coming down as people get more efficient appliances and are driving energy efficiency. And electric vehicles is going to bring incremental load onto our system, and for sure that brings us challenges that we've got to manage our way through. But it's great opportunity in terms of increased revenue that helps to justify the investments we need to make to make the system reliable. And for individual customers, like the flexibility of being able to no longer having to go to the gas station, you can just charge your vehicle at home, charge it at the office. But also, particularly as we start to see, vehicle to grid chargers coming onto the market and being part of what's available. Gosh, if there is a power outage because a crazy storm has come through, the fact that you can sort of keep your freezer and your refrigerator or maybe even your air conditioning running from your vehicle for a period of time until we're able to restore the system. I think there's some real benefits for customers beyond just the cheaper way of moving around charging with electricity from home than going to the gas station. So for me, I think it can't come quick enough. I think the challenge for sure is how do we work with our regulators to have as much visibility and control into those charges, to the extent that we're able to put our customers onto smart charging tariffs that allow us to sort of balance load, particularly through the night, as folks recharge their vehicles, to do that in a way that doesn't overload the system and provides the cheapest energy for our customers. I think there's a real opportunity there for more sort of advanced control and distributed automation right behind the meter into customers' homes. And so I think, it's fine while there's one or two chargers on a street, but as you think of a world where, every home has a charger, that starts to put some real strains on the existing infrastructure. And so finding smart technology ways to balance the use of that load so that we can leverage the infrastructure that's there and upgrade where necessary is going to be key. And so at least our story is the utility's got an important role to play there. We've got an exciting pilot in Missouri at the moment with the commission putting charges directly into a customer's home, putting them onto a special tariff so that we can really start to build our learning and understanding, but also play an important role in helping to provide that service for our customers in the most effective and efficient way. Because if this is done in an uncontrolled way and suddenly everyone can do what they like when they like, the amount of infrastructure reinforcement and the cost of doing that could be prohibitive for our customers. And so I think there's we don't want to be a blocker in helping our customers electrify. We want to be helping to support them to get there. So this is an exciting time for us.
No, Johnny, I think I can feel it, that excitement wirelessly when you were talking. I think that's really, I think everybody else in the audience will be the same. And I think that's the most important thing. What you just said is it's a great opportunity for the industry. It is the biggest test for the industry because the customers are going to be keep adapting the EV, and that's directly impact, to all our infrastructure and end to end, from customer to the commercial to any and the fleet. Everything is bringing the variability, and it's all about how we all bring all that connectivity together to the utilities, and it has to be utility driven rather than anybody else driving that, and for good reason. I love that, But last topic, I know that word of wisdom from you, as running such a big utility, how you feel the other utilities executives should prioritize all these different areas. Everybody's asking utilities to get focused on net zeros, to climate, to EV and all. How you want to give the word of wisdom from you is how they prepare for tomorrow, irrespective of customer or the workforce. That will be great ending for people to learn from word of wisdom from you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I've got any wonderful words of wisdom on this, Deepak. I mean, I think as exciting as this time is for us in the utility space, like it's a difficult time because there's so many different places that one could spend their time or customers' money. There's more things we could do than our customers can afford. And so I think we've always got to, I'd probably say almost in everything we do, start with the customer and make sure that there's a good business case for what makes sense from a customer perspective. We did a pilot in our New Hampshire electric utility where we put batteries into customers' homes behind the meter, put it into rate base, and the customers have a contribution to pay to do that. It's not all covered by the utility, but the benefit for us as a utility is by being able to use these batteries at peak times, we're able to bring down the overall transmission costs that we pay for the energy we bring in, that benefits all of our customers. And that was the role that the utility had to play there in terms of balancing our overall utility load. From our customers' perspectives, with time of use rates, they were able to use the battery to help bring down their overall energy costs. And in New Hampshire, you have pretty tough winters, ice storms come through, and now by having a battery in your home, if a big storm comes through, they're able to keep the lights on for a period of time until we can get them reconnected. So, real benefits for the customer there. And so I think keeping customer focus is key. I think having a long-term view and trying to have a roadmap and have a view of how things join together and build. You don't have to build, Rome wasn't built in a day, as they say. And so having a view of how investments build over time, I think, and feed in is really important. We were looking at our outage management system that needed upgraded. It had got sort of to end of life. And as we looked at the platform that we were on and we're really thinking about the longer term and all of this automation and distribution, we were like, well, the platform we're on isn't going to help us to put in an ADMS over time. And so we're probably on the wrong platform. So rather than investing in upgrading the existing platform that we had, we switched platforms so that we were future ready. And we haven't put an ADMS platform in. We're not ready for that yet in our journey, but we know that we're ready to take that next step when we need to. So having that longer term view and the roadmap, I think, is important. Not losing sight of the business case, and so like financially, whatever we do is going to make sense. We maybe moving away a little bit from technology, but we decommissioned a 200 megawatt coal facility that had maybe 15 years of life left, and replaced it with 600 megawatts of wind in our Missouri utility. And this was the coal facility was a critical part of our utility and its history. It had been around over 60 years. And so it was really only through the helping our employees and our customers and our regulator realize that actually it was going to be cheaper for our customers to be getting the energy that from these brand new wind facilities than it was continue to run this old coal plant. That actually there was real economic benefit for our customers, for the team that worked at the coal facility. We were able to redeploy in the organization and find them new roles. And so it sort of became a real win-win-win. But it was a win-win-win because ultimately the business case made sense, and it was an economic decision that supported everything else. And I think not losing sight of the economic business case in anything we do is critical as well.
Love
That
that.
helps.
No, I love that, and I think you overemphasize during our last 30 great minutes, the being customer focused, and get everything around the customer, strategy is main. This is what I picked up, Johnny, which is, I think you are key prioritizing, and everything around that goes into the connected workforce, to the connected assets, to everything you do. Thank you, Johnny. I think we definitely, I love the conversation. I always, beyond this conversation, whenever I hear you, I always get a lot of great inputs, and thank you for your time. And if you want to put any closing remarks before we end, love to take your inputs.
No, I don't. I think I've probably shared as much wisdom as I've got, Deepak. It's always good to chat. Thank you for folks that have listened, and look forward to catching up soon.
Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, everybody.